Caesar produced it. Gives them, gives.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Yo, turn down this music, bro. Turn down this music. Turn down this music. We're all in the building, yo. I'm excited for this one. Look, are you ready for the screen drop that's about to happen? I can finally unmute my compadres, my people here in the building. We are ready. It is the first show of the week. I can't unmute your mic because they chose to mute themselves. So, my friends, you're going to have to unmute yourselves, and I'm introducing them all. They don't need an introduction. We are here. We are ready. This is the new face of Ronin Radio, bro. We're not playing around anymore. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, bro. We are in the building. Now, I'll be real. I'm going to start the show like this. I've wanted to get to this format for a very long time. I don't know what has been the blockade. Probably myself, because that's normally the case. But we're here, and I've got three handsome gentlemen here on stage with me. And, of course, when we have people from the Ronin Network, I'm here, so yeah, okay, but
yeah.
We might have some more people up here too. But no, of course, yo, it's time. It's time to like start showcasing media. I think we did X Spaces for a very long time. We still will do X Spaces. They're not going to go anywhere. But we're in a time now where there's actual games live and playable. There's a lot of media coming from the games. They're almost on the brink of releasing product. So it's more that time where we can sit here, we can look at videos together, we can play these games together and go through, markets and whatnot. So you're gonna get screen shares for days today. And I feel like this is just better as an information point for anyone that is tuning into our show. So if you are here, we are trying to hit 500 YouTube subscribers. I've said it in the comments. You guys, I know you probably shouldn't do this, but if we get 500 YouTube subscribers by the end of this week, I'm giving a Ronky out, bro. I'm giving a Ronky out. I'm just giving one away.
Do you know that the Ronkies are up 100% today?
That's generational.
I'm giving generational wealth away for 500 subscribers, bro. I don't give a fuck. Welcome to the Ronin Radio, yo. I'm Gil. I'm your host, of course. 1437 Logic and Starker in the building. My good friends who've been here for a long time talking about Ronin. I made a post today. I do believe that this industry is inevitable, all right? And I wouldn't, my sorry ass wouldn't be here if I did not believe that. I think it's important to connect the community and the information together, the projects with all of those instruments as well. And that's what we do here on the show. So if this is your first time watching, welcome. Make sure to follow us on X at the Ronin Radio. We do this twice a week, every single week. And yeah, man, let's jump into today's show. We had a lot of topics, bro. We've got a master in his field here today, and you're probably thinking I'm going to be talking about this gentleman next to me right here, but I'm not. I'm talking about Logic, bro. I'm talking about Logic. He is goated. He is goated when it comes to Forgotten Runeverse, and I think that's where we should start. It's the hottest topic right now. There's other things that we want to get into, but Forgotten Runeverse is top of the list for me on Ronin of things happening. Let's get some look at some gameplay, bro. If you've not seen Forgotten Runeverse before, browser-based game, can play it on your phone, can play it on your laptop, can play it on your fucking Samsung fridge was one of the quotes from the last show we had with them. But you can play it anyway. This is the game. Look at this. Look, Logic. Why are you black?
This is it. What do you mean?
Why are you black?
Yo, don't worry about that, bro. That's not like
Shadow Wizard Money Gang, yo, he's in there, bro.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang, bro.
What the fuck is your weapon, dude? That's like a blue flame torch.
Yeah. So I'm like full fire wizard, right? And I pretty much just made a build for like all crit. So it's like physical damage crit based build.
Okay.
A fire assassin, pretty much.
Wow. You're slapping shit then.
Yeah. I'm just one-shotting shit. Like it's really fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't need to spend much time.
What's your crit chance?
I think 40-something%.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm hoping I can get it higher, but the equipment in the game is bottlenecking me. So I'm like,
What's the increased damage on crit? The percentage increase?
I think it's ×2, but also the gear that I have increases crit damage too by like some percentages.
Oh yeah, you just all the way juiced.
Yeah, I'm just like all the way crit. So I'm just like slapping shit. Yeah.
Wait, so you're max level right now, right? You're max level.
Yeah. Max level 25. It took like 2 days, 3 days, something like that. But like the first
only 2 days.
Day, I couldn't like play that much. But I was still dabbling.
But you had meetings and shit. I remember.
Yeah. So I was just like I was just mainly chilling. But yeah, I'm loving it, man. Like I got my mount, I got my gear. You can mint shit in the marketplace, which I mean, we'll see what can be good about it. I recently just been grinding the fuck out of dungeons because I think that's the only thing that's like good for players, right? It's just grinding these dungeons.
It's the end game content, right?
Yes. It's just the end game content, and the open world stuff is like so the recipes, right, in the game, how you create stuff or make stuff, it's all based on item drop rates, right? And dungeons give you the most, especially for spells, and that's kind of my experiment right now to see if spells give you the max amount of mana compared to like equipment, which it usually did in the past. It did, but we'll see about this test.
Yeah. So someone who wants to be in your shoes, like I started playing the game a lot on the first day, and the second day I did like 2, 4, 5 hour streams. I haven't jumped back in since the whole weekend. I'm just not that guy, bro. I'm not like an MMO grinder, and it hurts me in my soul a little bit, but then also, like it doesn't. But I do want to get into that position where I'm max level. I understand, what I'm grinding towards, what I'm grinding for. Like, how do you get to that point? Like, how important is fucking having a build? Yeah, like how important is other people? One, because I feel like if you're a solo player in this game, maybe some people are like, forget, like, or let me try and find somewhere. Like, how important is that? Because I know I soloed this whole game, and there's only strugglers been dungeons. Like, how important are different aspects? Do you think? What's the most important thing to understand in this game if you want to really be a player?
So I think solo playing is actually very viable because that's what I did. Like, main storyline, I just solo played all the way through because there was like a problem, right? Like the first few days where it was kind of hard to get in a party, and I was like, dude, I'm spending way too much time.
Why was it hard to get in a party?
It was just buggy. So it was like game based bugs. Like you get in a party and you guys would be like in different instances.
Oh yeah, actually they had that during the beta or the first time too, right? Where like you would be on a map and then you would go into like a fight and then suddenly one guy's missing and you're like,
Yes.
Where the hell did this guy
Yeah.
go?
We tried to do that with Gila. We were doing just like the hollow tree thing, and not only was I the guy missing, but I was in another battle on my own with them AFK. So you still had to beat three.
Oh,
I had to
no.
beat three mobs on my own.
It was a nightmare.
And
That was a nightmare, bro. It was.
and then they beat obviously they were 2-on-3, so they won. And then the thing is, when I won, it put them back into a third battle. So yeah. At the moment,
I
moment,
think,
it seems like you're struggling to get into the game, though.
dude, so they did a patch last night, right? And I think so. It was actually a good patch overall, but I think it broke a lot of the game. I After the patch, I was actually watching Ryan. He was trying to get into a dungeon, and then he just wasn't able to. But the patch essentially is to deter bots, right? Because there's a lot of like bots and macroers of just like people standing on open world resource nodes, and they would just like
I mean,
sit there, and they would just spam E, right?
Yeah.
And I think the dev team saw the amount of resources getting farmed because, dude, it was kind of crazy. Like, there's some instances to where there's like 10 people in one node. I'm pretty sure it's the same person botting on different accounts, and you can literally see them gathering all at the same time, right? So it was not good. But now that they increase they increase the time for resources to appear, it's much better now, especially since it gives more value to player-owned gathering stations. It's not like open world stuff anymore.
But we're talking about value. Like, what's good with this marketplace, bro? Like, have you purchased anything from marketplace? I'm seeing certain things as well. With like you create spells, you can sell spells.
Activities. Click activities and go to sales and let's see
Yeah.
what we got. Click sales on the left side. Yeah, and
What's
let's
being
see
sold?
like
So
how
spells are actually selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it depends, right? Like you gotta check the cost versus like how much time has passed to like gauge. Okay, how much are we looking in terms of activity? You got a few
I want
sales
to raise
every
the
hour,
value of it,
which is pretty good. Like the volumes on items is okay. Pricing wise, it's like it's all right. A couple Ron. What I want to see like in these kind of things is like, okay, do we have any big sales, right? Do we have anything above like 5 Ron, 10 Ron, 20, 30 Ron? Oh, there's one for 24 Ron like an hour ago.
Some chests.
Yeah, some chests. Yeah.
Is that worth it for 24 Ron? You would say, Logic?
So you can't even open these yet. So these are like speculation based.
Those are speculative. Okay.
Yeah,
Usually
yeah.
those sell the most, right? Speculative items and so on. Yeah, keep scrolling. Let's see. We'll take a look at like 1 or 2 pages here and see like how it looks. Because this is one of my biggest concerns about these kind of MMO games and stuff is like, where do they price in at, right? Like the items. And I would say like the first couple of days, maybe like
who wants all these tables, bro?
The first week even is gonna be like where the most amount of volume is, right? So this will give us a rough idea of like where people consider the value of these are. I don't really see them increasing in value unless suddenly there's a huge influx of players coming in that weren't here previously, right? Because most people who know about Forgotten Universe and were looking for it are already here playing it, right? So it looks like
Bro, what is bro's game plan? This red Akiza has every Judy table, bro. He's trying to corner the market.
But he's a trader, right? Red,
Yeah, he's
like
a trader. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure like that guy knows what he's doing. Like, I remember he's been flipping like axes since 2021, right? Like I've seen that name. He's flipped like Origins and other collectibles and all these kind of things. So he's for sure doing something.
43,000.
Yeah.
Wait.
Go on your point of like equipment and spells. Yeah, I see the same thing. I see it only being lucrative for the first couple of days, and then you're gonna meet this like supply. So you're gonna meet the amount of supply to where it's just gonna be so cheap. The only thing that's gonna be expensive is like the high level spells. So right now, like most people are selling like common level spells, like Violent Dismissal, for example, is like a very basic sort of spell. But there were some spells that were selling for like 10, 20 RON, and that was like the high blue cantrip. I don't know if you can find it. Maybe it's like
I was gonna say I'm trying to find the.
yeah, I think
Like, why is it
go
just
to-
this is just a point that needs to be made though, because we obviously we're going to go into this topic later on. Open season in the building. We're looking at Ronin Market right now, but
yeah.
my big issue with Ronin Market right now is that it's a blanket market. It like blankets everything, and you have to be able to have specifications around projects. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to be able to truly browse a marketplace like in the way that you really should.
Yeah, I actually
That's
think
just,
it's
I just got to put down.
I actually
What do
think
you
it's so
what do you
bad.
mean by that exactly? Are you just what do you mean by that when you say that?
So like
Gila?
every marketplace in Ronin and Ronin Market has like traits and stats, and like things are coined as traits, and although that's like the framework for NFTs, like a lot of the time it doesn't go into item specification, which makes it really hard to like discover items in the ecosystem. Because of course Runiverse has a ton of items. If you look at the way that they split their collection, like if you go to Forgotten Runiverse and you look at collections, like you've got the rings, the Watcher's rings, and then you got real estate. These two are specific items, so their filters are a lot more niched in to what the
It's
item
like their
actually
own
is.
category, essentially.
Whereas you go to items and it's so broad, it's so vast that now these like like the traits and the filters are just like a druidic table doesn't have a crit chance. You know, like
I actually think they could easily fix this. I do think the filters in Mavis Market or Ronin Market right now is pretty bad, to be honest. I think the only thing they can add here to make it even nicer is just like subcategories. So it's like the main category is, for example, weapon, and then there's a subcategory within the weapon saying it's like physical damage or magic damage or
well, cantrip would be a spell, right? Because a cantrip is like cantrip is the your standard spell that you can use every turn.
Yeah. So if you go to high cantrip, right above that, high, and then tick off cantrip. So there's high cantrip, 2 above where you just clicked high. Yep. So these are like the high level spells that are cantrips, and high is just the high spells, which is like the normal like 2, 3, and 4 spells. So I think you're right on that. Like the categorization on the filters is like so weird.
Okay,
so
no.
Oh, go ahead, Stark.
Oh no, I was just going to say we're talking about improvements on the Ronin marketplace, but I think don't the games have the ability to change their filters? It's on the games to improve their filters, not on Ronin marketplace to make perfect filters.
That's
for all
what
the games.
we are, you know. Yeah, open network.
Well, then it's,
there is a lot of responsibility.
It's on the game. I think it's not Ronin marketplace it's not on Ronin or Sky Mavis to make the filters better. It's on the game that. So
yes, but then you do need some form of policing on that platform, because at the end of the day, like you're wearing.
No, but that means I'm saying the game. It's up to Runiverse to make the filters better. And
I'm saying what I'm trying to say, Stark, is there a process in which this is, you know, communicated? Because if not, if it's just like throw your shit on here, like the game doesn't really need to focus on that type of deal. Whereas it's like, okay, you've got to bring it up to a certain standard.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying.
You need to send me around and say, yo, Forgotten Runiverse, you are fucking amazing. The game is sick. But if your items on my marketplace look like 2002 pixelated images, sort the shit out, please. Please.
Yeah, you know, actually, this is all on the game. It's not on the marketplace.
Yeah.
Because from my understanding, working with others is like, they don't really prioritize these things. You know, you got to understand that all these games, they have like some kind of a pipeline, and then these kind of quality of life changes is like, for them, they really overlook it, right? Like quality assurance, QL stuff, like they really don't prioritize it as much as delivery, because they're already behind. on their pipeline things. And it is a problem. Let's be real, right? We are gamers who like to see nice things, and we see an item that has like a bunch of numbers on it. We're like, what the hell is this? Now, if you're a player who already plays the game, you don't care. But like, this could be a missed opportunity for people who don't know the game, who want to come in. They just want to buy something rare, right? Just because like they feel like, oh, maybe this will make me stronger, but they don't know what they're buying, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not
You kind of
clear,
want
it's
the
not
stability
delivered
to-
properly.
Yeah.
Actually, I have two questions for Logic, right? And maybe these are pretty interesting. First question is, what is the most rarest item that you could find out in the wild, and what is its value, right? Let's be real here. Web3 is about economy and like people who wanna like come and farm the game or whatever. Like, what is it? What is an item that you think like sells at a pretty good price and is actually worth that?
Yeah. I think in terms of resource in the wild, you actually can't buy them in the marketplace.
Okay.
The only things you can buy in the marketplace is like player made stuff. So like resources you can't buy. It's only if they craft with that resource, then you can buy that item. So I think in terms of to even get more specific with your answer, the most rarest stuff that's gonna be able to be purchased in the game is stuff that you can only get in dungeons, right? Because the open world stuff is really quite easy to get. And
Okay,
it's
so
not really a
what is it?
scarcity.
What would you say would be like an item right now that is like selling like hotcakes? And
I
is
would say probably like mnemonic echo, or it's the high spells, because the high
Okay.
spells require dungeon
What are they
drops.
going for right now?
I think like 10, 20. Let me
20
double
run?
check on that. Yeah.
Yeah, the floor. I
Okay.
think the floor was 9-1. What about those chests we saw? Is that something that drops in the dungeons?
No. So those chests are straight up
They were
from
given out, yeah.
Yeah, they were given out from the last playtest,
Okay.
based on rolling on the fonts of
Nice.
memory.
So 20 run is where people are pricing in most of these like big things. Now, two things can happen from here, right? One is they're super undervalued because people don't know how difficult it is to get them, and they can go up in price, right? Or two, they're just gonna go cheaper from here, right? Because maybe like it's consistent how they come out, and then so on and so on. So it's kind of interesting because like we know a lot of MMO are coming out, right? Over like the next couple of months, next year, even Axie's coming out. So this could be like information that people can use to gauge, okay, when we have the next MMOs coming out, what price ranges can we like gauge, these kind of items to be at, right? For me personally, I think these kind of prices are a little too on the low side, right? Especially in the early days. I feel like some of these, excuse me, sorry, I got a cold.
Bless your life.
But yeah, so I feel like, for example, for an Axie MMO, right, especially whales who like to play the games and so on, I want to see them come out at higher prices because it'll help not only the economy, but it'll get more people wanting to come in and play the game, right? Like, we can always look back on Axie 2021. Now everyone is always trying to replicate that, but one of the reasons why it caught on is because of like what kind of returns you can have on your time spent and your assets that you bought, right, or you were scholared for. So that's I think that's something like future games are gonna have to work on, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
if Forgotten
But isn't
Riververse
it
has like
different though, 'cause it's-
longevity, then it's okay, right? If it has longevity, then it's okay. But that's what we're gonna get to see over the next couple of months.
Is
Yeah.
player-driven
It's a good
economies
point.
an ingredient for longevity?
I
'Cause
mean,
that's the huge difference, right?
to go based on that, to be honest, I think they're gonna go cheaper, right?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing limiting the supply of getting these items, and I think as the game progresses, these current items we have right now, people are just gonna farm them, and as people farm them, people are gonna have them. There's no real reason to buy, to be honest.
Especially if, as you were saying earlier, they made a patch for simple resource clicking. That means that before this patch, they didn't even have measures in place for clicking on a plant. So if there's no bot preventions for that, yes, all the spells are going to be the more advanced bots are just going to ravage the whole thing and farm because you just need to beat mobs to farm the spells.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Bring us back to reality. What? There goes. Yo, Stark is here, bro.
Yeah, as
It's
much as I
true.
love
Yeah, okay.
gaming, it's I think
Let's move the fuck on, bro. We spoke about Forgotten Universe. We know what it is. We ain't gonna solve it all in one day with a mystery, but of course the game has been doing well on Ronin since it got here. But there's a lot of other stuff to talk about. We just briefly touched on OpenSea. That's gonna be where we're going next. Just a reminder: there's certain things going on in the ecosystem right now. One of them we were gonna feature on the show, but we're not featuring on the show no more, mate, because it just wasn't. The heroes, bro. Stark knows about them. It took him 10 years to get a hero out of a box. So we're not going to do that today. But that is happening over the next 24 hours if you were in the last Odyssey.
Gila, I got something for you.
What you got?
Okay, well, it's kind of on the topic of what Stark said, and I think it's interesting and like it's something worth talking about, right? Like over the past I wouldn't say couple of years, maybe like the last year. So 1 year ago, we had a gaming bull run, essentially, right? Web3 had like a gaming bull run. Where, like,
what a shit bull run, but yes.
I mean, it was actually pretty good, right? We saw Ron go from like 20 cents to like $4, whatever it is, which is kind of insane.
I'm sorry. Right? My perception's skewed because AXS went to 150. You know what I mean? So like,
exactly. So I think it really depends on like how we see it, and maybe not everyone. Maybe people thought too much about like, oh, we're all gonna go up together and blah 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 and so on. And we saw APRS do well. We saw like Pixels do well, right? Pixels was at 50 cents when it first came out, right? And then I think it went up as high as like 90
Look at this
cents,
chart,
right? Which is absurd. But like, we had a gaming bull run. Let's just say it. Now, since then, people's perspective on gaming has changed quite a lot. Where instead of focusing on an economy and like how to have a proper economy, they're so fixated on going wide, right? And what I say by going wide is they care more about player acquisition and they care about Web 2, right?
Yep.
Now, for me, the problem with that by going wide is the number one problem actually is you invite bots. Okay. Now, I don't mean human bots who are there to click and farm. I mean like legitimate bots, right? Now, I understand why you want to go wide. It's because your numbers look better. You can get more. You can do more raises, right? You can have more sustainability through your raises than like expecting the price of your token to go up, sell your tokens, and then fund yourself with the tokens, right? Which creates a lot of uncertainty for a lot of projects. So this is my question to you guys is like, what are your thoughts on that in terms of like the approach that people are taking? And then like for me personally, I prefer that teams just fix their economy, right? Figure out how to have a balanced and working economy, be happy with the users you have, and then try to work on your users once you have a working economy instead of trying to get the users and then get a working economy, because while you're trying to get your users without a working economy, all your users are going away, right? And then your price continues to plummet. So it's
and the sentiment goes down because they bought in, and then the later you come in, the more you get screwed. I think here to answer your question, the clear example is Axie Origins, where before now I don't think there's many measures in place to prevent bots, but because they've been working on other stuff in the first place. There's no bots in the top 100 in Axie Origins, and the economy is as balanced as ever because that was the economy first approach.
And Stark, speaking of Axie Origins, we had who was it, Jihos, who came on Ronin Radio the other time, and he told us that Origins was actually profitable.
Yeah.
They're actually spending less than
that's crazy.
Less rewards than what they make, which is amazing. Right? Even if that's even 1% more, whatever, I don't know what the number is.
Yeah.
But in Web3,
it's crazy.
They actually crack the code.
Yeah. And then using that for the MMO, It's all very bullish stuff, but it's true. I think there's not enough focus on a lot of these Web3 games on the economy, because especially in these times where it's let's be real, like it's a struggle out there, especially there's less players, there's less everything, there's less money, there's less volume. But so you're desperate for players maybe, or that's what you think, and then instead you get your numbers, you pad your stats, but then you have bots clicking on plants to harvest them, and your first big patch is about addressing 9 bots clicking on a plant.
Yeah.
So
I think it's super fixable, and I think someone who was playing Pixels made a feedback thing too. He was like, he made like some huge article on X on why he's quitting, and it's exactly that same problem. Like, games are not gamifying the way they're getting resources, and the way they can do it is like, if you're chopping down a tree, it's like Fortnite, right? Like, there's like critical spots in the tree to where you have to hit, and that way, that's the only way you can get the resources. So
but
like, you gamify it.
I mean, that's one solution, but another lesson we learned from Pixels that Luke would repeat and repeat and repeat is that there's this false idea from most people where you can ban bots. You can't ban bots; they always outsmart you. So if you do spots that they can hit, then they'll work around that. It has to be, you have to take a step back, and it has to be more, you change how you think, not just patch a thing every week.
I'll tell you this, okay? Some people don't give a shit. I know some games out there, they don't give a shit that there's bots. Okay,
Yeah,
exactly.
those bots are giving them daily
Numbers.
active users.
Yeah.
Okay?
And also,
No, not only that.
I got you. Okay.
Some bots are actually implemented by the game devs. Okay? Like as in like
Well,
the team.
Pause. All right. First and foremost, yeah, Rallo, stop fucking crying in the chat, bro. We're reading the chat 24/7. Stop fucking crying. Either way, this whole industry, bro. I love Rallo to death, but this whole industry. This is what I feel like. Do you want to know where I'm at, bro? I've been here for 4 years, just looking, and this is what I'm seeing. This industry is like, it's like Hunger Games, bro, right? There's probably a select amount of capital that to us is like, oh my God, that's so much fucking money. But to the real fucking world, bro, that ain't really, it's breadcrumbs, right? Someone decided, you know what, this thing actually has some traction. They threw some breadcrumbs at it. It did the madness back in 2020 and 2021, right? And now the same people who were throwing breadcrumbs then are still throwing breadcrumbs now, but they're saying we'll give breadcrumbs to the people that put numbers on the fucking boards, because their other breadcrumbs or their whole loaves are going in other industries that have millions and millions of people engaged in them. So they see real value because of the amount of human beings that are influenced and tractionable to those methods. So they want to see the same within Web3, but where the money's coming from isn't, it's nowhere near a bottoms up thing. Like, yeah, we're going to get indie devs and whatever, but they don't know the actual KPI that they should be looking for. It's like they have a spreadsheet and all the things that they invest in. The KPI is, what are user metrics? What does one user equal as revenue? And they make like this calculation, and they need Web3 gaming to follow suit because that's their business strategy. That's their plan as a VC or an investor. So the whole industry now is cowtailing towards hitting a specific metric for the people that give the bread, instead of actually making the better product, which would acquire the bread because of like the merit of it. Right, so that's where I think we're at. I think Ronin not being open for so many years and kind of avoiding some of the steps it could have made for user acquisition arguably was their way of looking inward and trying to kind of study that and get to the front of that. And I think Axie MMO is going to be the one game that fucking smacks that shit out of the park. That's what I'm seeing. It's Hunger Games. Everyone is not. They're not doing it. They're not them. You know what I'm saying? We are Atlas Aberdeen in this motherfucker. All right? Sorry, but that's what I'm seeing. They're all fighting for metrics for a VC to give them bread.
But do you know why like it is the way it is, right? You remember in 2021 when Axie came out and you had Pegasus and you had all these games and like everything was like, oh yeah, Ponzi this, Ponzi that. Okay, cool. Right? Like Sure, but at the end of the day, those games did get traction. They actually had real users and real funds flowing through them, right? Which then created, at the end of it all, legitimate like believers, right? Who stuck around and built with you.
Only died, but
The
yeah.
problem is, right after that came the play for fun crowd, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, all we need.
No, I mean,
Now,
we want a fun game.
Listen. I was also one of those because I came from Web 2. I was a Dota player and so on, and like I knew that all these games they just need these play to fun crowd, and like you just gotta come play, and then like the rewards will be flowing, and they're gonna be like 20% who will be there to buy shit, 80% will play for free, and so on and so on. We have made these calculations thinking like, oh, this will create a working economy, right? We'll sell skins and that'll be okay, right? And the game will work out. And a lot of people believed in that, right? And then they wanted to create these games for like 2024, 2025, thinking that, okay, the bull market is going to be here at this point in time. And if we have a fun game to play, we're going to have millions of gamers coming in by then because that's the trajectory we're going on, and so on and so on. And like, we're here in 2025. And guess what? We actually have less players than we did back in 2021, right? Because during 2021 there was a lot of speculation, and there was also a lot of money flowing through Web3 gaming, right? Because Web3 gaming was actually more on the correct path back then than it is today, right? Because back then it was more so about, okay, let's build a game that's more so about high stakes, right? It's very much like poker, but in an actual like video game format. Right, that's what Axie was. It was poker in a video game format. I think that's what most people enjoyed about it. Now you have all these games with literally zero economy, zero. They have a little bit of breeding here. They use their coin for like some prize pool, but there's no loop, there's no flywheel, there's nothing. And that's why I think all those games that don't have a working economy, guess where they're going? They're going straight to zero. And
Yo, you chose violence today. I love it, bro. Let's go.
$200 straight to zero.
I'm on the floor today. No, it is true. Like, I think we're in a stage of the market right now where if people actually don't kind of shine the light and be honest and have difficult conversations, answer hard questions, give hard truths, we will fucking continue to barrel roll out of existence, bro. Like, I believe that because now you can't bullshit. Like, if we are participant-wise lower than we were way back when, there's gotta be some acknowledgement of that, and there has to be improvement. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really avoid that. You are right though. A lot of the games that you go into, it's like, yeah, you got to figure out the economy of things, but is there a flywheel? Like, does it actually form a loop? And I think a lot of the games are quick and rushing towards, and again, because of the projection, the speculation of the trajectory we were on, you should be doing this by then. And even maybe the peas that they took, the bread that they took, came with the constituencies that they should be at this point by 2025 or whatnot. So it's a lot. It feels like a lot of rush.
So basically, there's a lot of people from 2021 that are still stuck in the mindset of before we only had Axie. Now I just need to find a fun game. If I can find a fun game and invest in it, if it's a good game and it's fun, and I can get in early, I'll be fine. Whereas the hard truth is, this year, next year, there's gonna be countless fun. Like, you're gonna have your favorite game. Except if it's Axie, but because that's not going anywhere. But there's gonna be a realistic chance that your favorite game that you're out there playing 8 hours a day is just by the end of 2026 or 2025 not gonna exist anymore because they didn't prioritize the right things. Before, all you had to do was think about fun. Now that's just not sufficient. It's actually
people gotta wake up. Okay.
Yeah, wake the fuck up.
Web3. Okay, Web3 gaming is a niche, okay? It's not mainstream, right? Right now it's about survival. You want to make something mainstream, you want to be the first one to make it mainstream, sure. You can become a multi-billion-dollar, trillion, whatever it is that your ambitions are, game, right? You can it's like a 0.0001% chance that it's going to be you if you're a game dev, all right? Now, what do you care more about? Do you want to go for that, or do you want to like try and become something successful in the space and build on it and then try to go mainstream afterwards, right? I think any game that tries to have a working economy has a way better chance, even if you only have 500 or 1,000 users, right? And then like you just slowly build up from there, but you have a working economy, right? That people want to be a part of. You will succeed. Like I think you have like a 50x chance to succeed, like more than if you just try to do like.
You can monitor the inflow of evolution. Like your economy will evolve as more people come into it. But if you're actually doing it on that basis, you'll be able to notice the change, like what success actually look like. You get to success, so you can see what successful is, or you can see what flywheel looks like. And then as you scale up, you can then identify, what are the anomalies, what's different now, what is causing more, and this. You'll be a better analyst of your own economy if you actually focus in that way too. So it's time to wake up, bro. You know what? Controversy. We're dropping the big statements here today. I think that's what we like. This is what we're here to do. To be honest, like we're here to make a splash in the fucking water, bro. Cannonball in the pool. Welcome to the Ronin Radio. Just want to give a huge shout out to all of our partners and sponsors. Of course, always powered by the Ronin Network themselves, and we stand by it, bro. I think we will, as 4 people here, I'll speak on your guys' behalf. But there's lots of people in this community too that are very similar to this. That we won't stand by them and bullshit and let this thing turn to mush. We'll stand strong on this. And Rallo, I'm 28 years old, so there you go. We're also we're gonna get someone as a moderator in the chat. I'm collecting the best comments throughout the whole show, right? Just to display at the end as a little bit of a laughs and giggles, because we talk about a lot of stuff. We go through a lot of different topics. There was some that made me laugh in the early phase. We're gonna bring them back towards the end. But yeah, let us know, man. What do you think? Should a game focus on creating a successful economy, ignoring scale, and once they get to a flywheel that works within that player base, then focus on scale afterwards? Let us know in the comments, or you give us a post. You can post on X and at us at the Ronin Radio, and we'll be able to read it, get back at you, and start another conversation. So where do we go from here? Is there a game that you think is good? Go on, Logan.
No. So I think one thing deserves to be talked about is, I just checked too, right? You guys earlier on the show were saying Ronki went up. I just checked the floor price of PFPs. So why the fuck is it even going? What happened, guys? Because I literally
OpenSea.
It's OpenSea, bro.
I legit think it's OpenSea. I do believe it.
It's OpenSea, bro.
Listen, OpenSea is finally waking up to it, right? Remember, if you're trending on OpenSea, it's a big thing. There's a lot of people on OpenSea who are degenerates, who are always looking for the next play, right? Just like meme coin hunters, they want to know what's gonna catch fire, right? And right now, it feels like the way that people think, we're like deep in the bear, right? So if Ronkis are going up now, I just imagine like what's gonna happen when sentiment changes, So 100, what is it? 110 RON?
120 RON. I saw earlier.
The crazy thing is, like, I saw like on sales, there was a lot of sales. A lot.
It's the top Ronin collection over 24 hours. Over the last 24 hours, it's the 5th collection on out there. It's the 5th NFT collection.
Yeah, on all.
Yeah, it's not just OpenSea, it's all. Yeah. It's
like, considering the prices people buy stuff on OpenSea, it looks mega cheap.
Look at that 24-hour volume. Look at the top right corner. 1/3 of the all-time volume is in the last 24 hours.
Yeah. So I've been noticing a lot of like people that I don't recognize, right? Like posting about picking up a Ronke PFP, and shout out to the Ronke community. They do an amazing job at like communicating that, raiding that, reposting that, getting it heard by as many people as possible. So keep that fucking up. Shout out to all the Ronkies in here. Rallo is a fucking Ronki.
You know what's funny, Gila? Is like one OpenSea, one ETH like NFT whale can send this straight to like 500 RON. One. Just one.
Yeah.
Right?
They could sweep. They could actually sweep.
Exactly. Just imagine if like a couple of them start coming in, the FOMO kicks in, and then like everybody.
Yo, this is it. Demon, this is it, right? This is the narrative, right? If you're a whale and you believe in this like industry, in this space of especially the gaming aspects, right? Because this is what Ronkei's stemmed from. It's from Ronin. If you believe what is happening right now is retarded, right? You would sweep the shit out of Ronkeys, hold all of the retarded blue monkeys, and then start, you would raise the value of this non-utility. People would start making bread, and then we can actually be in a position where I just get generational wealth and I'll just leave the space.
Oh, bro, we're already at 126 raw. Bro, this is crazy. Just this morning it was like 90.
Yes.
Right? Like
no.
Bro, just like a couple of hours ago, we're at 90. No, the thing is, the best thing for people to do right now is
I need to change this to right.
Is what? Sorry.
Is delist.
Delist, yeah. Delist.
So.
Oh yeah.
Ronke delist.
Strategically, what you would want to happen is delist, get people to buy at higher prices, and like make that a floor, right? So and then if you want to take your profits down the road, you can you'll do a lot better in those scenarios. So I actually do believe that the 50 RON, the 50 when it was at 50 RON like a couple of days ago, that might have just been the floor, like literally the
bottom.
It's the bottom. Yeah, sorry, the bottom. And now we're like,
is there a discrepancy between Ronin market and OpenSea? Yes. Like, is the floor lower?
The floor is lower on Ronin market, but it matches with the offers and the fees. So there's no arbitrage to be made if you're thinking of like buying and then accepting straight away offers on OpenSea. But floor is higher on OpenSea. So list on OpenSea. Anything if you want to buy, not even list, because look at the top offer. Look at the floor price in the top offer. The top offer is higher than the fucking floor price. So you don't need to list. If the top right there to the left of the 24-hour volume, the top offer, now it's gone up a bit because one was bought. But it just means that if you do, this is perfect because this fuels the fire of the delist your Ronke thing. Because if you want to sell one, just accept the top offer. You have nothing to lose by delisting. You have nothing to lose by delist. Delist, floor price go up, top offer go up, Ronke feed family for generations.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's facts, bro.
Yeah, I was so surprised.
Retarded nature.
Yeah, I woke up, right? And when you guys said, yo, Ronke's going up, I checked it and I was like, I don't understand what even happened here. I don't even understand like what's the catalyst. Maybe it is. I think you're right, Theban. It is the trending thing because now that I think about it, if I'm looking at OpenSea and there's a trending collection, I tend to click it. Maybe I don't buy, but I do tend to click it. I do take that extra step to click it.
There's a points farming thing on OpenSea. There's like a Ronin chest. So this is why the volume's going up too. There's a chest. It's probably leading up to the OpenSea token, all of that, and all of the Ronin collections are eligible. If you go on your right to Gila, if you go to rewards and then you go to eligible collection, Axie's there, Forgotten Universe Land, alongside Pudgy Penguins, Doodles, Mutants, all of that. So people are farming points by it's like they're just doing volume, and then they're banking points, and you get shipments and stuff
this
like
was. You know what?
Maybe they're farming it? Question. Is that like a thing we
go
can
eligible collections, go to leaderboard. Yeah. Look at these points. You get XP and stuff like that. And you get it's basically like a bigger version of that. And you get points for bids. That's why the bids are so high. It's a similar thing to the blur system. For those who don't know, it's a rival of OpenSea, where if you're the highest eligible bid on a collection, you're accumulating points as you're up there. So that's why the offers are so high. These are not people who want to buy necessarily a Ronke. They're wanting to farm points, and they're offsetting that with the risk of someone accepting their offer and then shouldering the fees, etc. for points. These are people playing the game for OpenSea token, like for the OpenSea token, and that's why all of these Ronin collections are on fire.
RNS is in there as well. Let's go. It's so crazy seeing Ronin.
It costs, it costs 5 RON to make an RNS, and the floor is $6.50. It costs that's $3.
Well,
to
if
make
you
an
want that
RNS.
one, you want that one, right? So I mean, you can't just look at it from
Yeah, but
numbers
this
wise.
means that
Like,
OpenSea people don't even know that that's like they don't even know that that's how you make it. So people are buying basic RNSs without knowing that. So there's even value out there for people who want to just make cheap RNSs, and you try to sell one at $6.50. What's the offer on the RNS for it? It can't be high. If you find a Ronin,
we'll check. We'll check.
look for yeah. There you go. What's the highest offer? There's no offer, so that
No
makes
offers.
sense. Yeah, but still, look at that's
Why,
that's
why would you
look at
buy these?
Look at the 24-hour volume. That's $2,400 of sales in RNSs.
Yeah, that's actually quite crazy because I haven't heard people talk about RNSs for a while, bro. Like, we are not seeing that. But it makes sense. Like, I like the way that this is heading. I'd really love seeing Ronin projects or assets on OpenSea, and I didn't know that this leaderboard or this reward system was going on right now. And that definitely supports the case as to why there's a decent amount of volume flowing into Ronin products, right? But yeah, I mean the narrative here, the takeaway for sure is delist your Ronki, bro. It's actually like the best thing you can do right now. And as this demand starts to shoot upwards, I think it takes one Ronki whale to get in here and just be like, you know what, fuck it, bro. Let's just make this shit happen. And it was such a you can't be number 5 in the whole list. Look, floor price 80K, floor price 20K, and then courtyard, fuck you. But floor
you know
price 28K, and then you just go to $88.
But that's why I think like it's gonna be one of the best R&R, right? Like in on OpenSea, like this whole thing with OpenSea. I mean, I wanna claim that I called it first, that the NFTs are gonna be more popular than the coin. Okay, I think I told you.
You did say that. That was one of the first things you said.
Right? Yeah, I said that I think the coin is useless in comparison to what the NFT is gonna do. Like in comparison, right? I'm not saying the coin is not gonna be worth anything, but I'm just saying that it's gonna be useless in comparison, because like NFTs, like they still, they're like a character. They're an identity, right? Coins are just there for the sake of being coins, right? It's just about the money, right? But like there's an attachment
the
people have
coins
to
are gonna
NFT.
potentially do, bro. You don't think that? You don't think that the coins hasn't even started?
I think they'll be fine, but I think the NFTs are gonna be forever.
Of course.
That's all I think. Like I've seen people carry NFTs and they're as PFPs for 5 years, or whatever it is. It's 2020, 2021, 2021, right? Coins are just gonna come and go. They're gonna die out eventually. They're gonna all go to zero. That's life.
Even like sending shit to zero today, that's sure. But if you're just finding out about Ronki, this is the main account to go and follow. But also get into the Ronin Discord. There is a Ronki chat in there, so you can ask all the questions you might want to find out more about Ronki. The 5th highest trending or top trending, whatever the fuck you want to say.
It's not trending. It's top 5 by volume today on OpenSea. Out of all NFT collections in the whole fucking world, the Blue Monkey is ranked 5 at $80 in volume at $80 floor. Think about how many fucking monkeys were bought and sold today.
It's true.
That's crazy.
It's
April Fools.
What a world we live in. I thought I was about to lie, No, we're dead ass. The Blue Monkey is here and taking over. Fuck me.
I think it's only gonna go. I have a feeling. I have a good feeling it'll increase. I think the volume is gonna keep going higher and higher. I think so.
I ain't selling shit. I'm just giving one away if we get 500 subscribers on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the Ronin Radio YouTube channel. Thank you so very fucking much.
Gila is so ronky that instead of selling it, he's giving them away for free.
Yeah.
That's a true ronky right there. Why sell them?
Listen, there's gonna be another story like his taxi story. Remember back, dude?
Bro,
I remember
that taxi. That taxi is almost the same price now. Fuck you, bro.
Yeah. Well, when Ron was at $4, it wasn't, right? And we were teasing about that. And now,
at $4, the world was different.
5 or 6 months, I feel like in 5 or 6 months we're gonna be talking about the raw games. Like, hey, remember those raw games you gave away? You know, how many thousands?
Oh, you just gave away $10,000, bro? Yeah, I'm cool. I'm casual. I'll just be that mask. You know, the mask.
Nah, you're gonna be the
behind
pizza
it.
guy. You're gonna be the Bitcoin pizza guy.
Hell no. Hell fucking no. But another flaw that actually did crazy stuff was Fableborn's Kingdom NFTs, right? So I don't know. I saw TCAF tweet about it. Shout out to TCAF. But he tweeted about it saying that the Fableborn Kingdoms floor. I don't know if someone can get to Ronin Marketplace and get the Fableborn Kingdoms up, but
Yeah, I'll do that.
their floor almost doubled or something. And this is in anticipation of season 3. There was a playtest that happened recently. I'm going to work on getting some gameplay on the screen too, but I'm bullish on Fableborn, bro. I haven't played it enough to really be like, this is it. But something about this game has me excited. I think mobile games need to be one of the big winners just because of the player base or the user base. If you were to put all of the users in Web3 that are actually real human beings that turn up every single day, are just actual normal fucking gamers, and you were to put them in one room, and it would be a massive room, maybe it wouldn't be a massive room, but the majority of those players are mobile players, right? So a mobile game needs to be successful, and I think this definitely is the one. Over the course of this year, maybe next year, it won mobile game of the year last year, is going to be all the time in the conversation of one of the best mobile games in this industry. I don't know enough about economy, and we were talking about economy earlier, so I'm not going to go into that too deeply. But Thursday, we will be hosting Fableborn to talk with them, so we'll be able to go deeper into that conversation then. But their floor price of the NFTs has gone through the roof.
I'm sharing my screen now if you want to put it on the, because so on here I'm on the collections, all collections, and you just look at all the green. This is all OpenSea point farming, and you add on to that games being live, certain campaigns or whatever. So you have Fableborn plus 74% floor price in the last 24 hours, and the volumes shot up as well. And earlier today, now it's not the case, but earlier today, the uncommons were at the same floor as the commons. So I what I did, because if you go to OpenSea,
we get some sweep in.
No, well, the top offer on OpenSea is 89 RON. So I just accepted 2 offers on my 2 commons for 89 RON, well, it was 86 RON. And then I bought 2 uncommons for 86 RON, and I just lost the fees of whatever they were.
You upgraded.
Upgraded
Nice.
for free.
Nice.
But here the uncommons are 10 RON higher. I think that was the thing. I think that's caught on now because I tweeted about it, and shout out to Travis. He's the one.
That's way too cheap, right? Like this is insane.
There's a merging process too, so like 2 lands merges together.
Yeah, you need 2 commons to make an uncommon. So like that's ridiculous for the uncommon. Actually, the rare prices are also very good.
Yeah. And so
I might have to buy, because I don't have any land in this game, and I was constantly thinking like, yo, I need to be exposed to this game, but I didn't want to pull the trigger on it.
Actually, I'm more interested to know when are they gonna have their token, like when is the P2A, right? Like
this is what Thursday's gonna be for, bro.
So
I think we gotta get real, like we gotta be like,
I have to
I'm sorry, we have to ask the stop. I'm gonna lose my shit, bro. Yo. Let me breathe.
Go.
We gotta ask the right fucking questions. And if teams are coming through, bro, you gotta ask them straight up. When is the token? When is this happening? Like, if they are not available to give dates, bro, we go like, where are we going in this industry? I need that transparency, bro.
We're gonna punch them in the gut if they don't tell us.
No, I'm gonna start down the mic like that's gonna come on. Do you want, bro? You know what? Boom's in the chat right now. He's seen too many crash outs in a week. I need to reduce the crash out numbers.
Are you stressed?
The market, bro.
I think you need the call, Gila.
Yeah.
Well, Boom comes here for the crash outs. So if you stop crashing out, he's not gonna show up anymore.
Oh. Like, carry on, Stark. I'm so sorry. I love you.
No, I was just gonna say because I was trying to cut you off because you were literally saying you were. I know you, Gila, and I know you were thinking about buying your land.
Just tell me the dates.
You're looking.
Tell me what's going on.
Well, I'm glad you're distracted by that because Gila, when he sees plus 100% floor, he's like, I need me to buy that.
True. That's true.
So one, relax. Two, we were looking at that everything that commons is rising and everything else is not rising in accordance, and that's because just remember this is not necessarily gamers etc. buying these things. It's what happens in every collection, especially
Floor
where especially if there's ratios. The floor moves up first usually, yes. And then the others might move after, but what's for sure, it's like with slips. If you know Axie collectibles give you slips depending on their tier. The lowest tier is summer Axies, 1 part summer Axies. If you do the ratio for slips, dollars, your best buy thingy, summers are always the most expensive because that's the point of entry. The other thing to remember if you're going to buy a rarer piece of land is that you can't accept offers on them because there's no trade specific offers yet. That's been told that it's coming. Once that comes, there you can play that game of buying the rarer ones and speculating on that. Otherwise, you don't want to be buying a rare and then spend a week selling it when you could just sell it in one click if you buy a common. So just a disclaimer that it's just to be careful in these games, especially when we've said the thing that we've said. All of these collections are going up in part because of the OpenSea point farming thing. It doesn't mean that they'll go down necessarily after, but it just means it just remember that, especially as we've left Ronin, it's changing the behavior of the Ronin market, because before it was only gamers buying mostly, some speculators. Now there's a lot of like ETH people, etc. They don't even know what they're buying, what they're clicking on. So it's changing the behavior of the market if you're used to certain types of behaviors.
How long are they doing this point farming thingy for?
I don't know, but it was barely just announced. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I don't think there's necessarily end dates and stuff like that. They could also do seasons.
Yeah, they don't put date.
They could do seasons because Blur does seasons, right? So
yeah, even in how it works.
Based, to be honest.
Yeah, see,
that's a really good how it works page, though. Don't you think? Really fucking good how it works, man. This industry is getting me on edge. This is a really good. Like,
how it works is you get rewards on your journey. Isn't that a sufficient explanation?
No.
You're on a boat. You're on a boat. There's a wooden crate floating in the ocean. You pick it up. That's your reward. Stop asking questions.
How long is the journey? What's in the crate? There's loads of fucking questions we can ask here. I just, it is what it is. I don't know how long the XP system will last, and that makes me, unbothered a little bit. And of course, I've got no money, so I'm definitely unbothered. So thanks so much for joining. But I want to see Ronki actually just do something retardedly amazing. That's my only goal. I love to see Ronki on the OpenSea. It's weird when we were looking at Fableborn though, because the way that market moved was very strange. It was almost like it was totally like uneducated, or just it made no sense. Just going back over that, why that the common floor matched almost the uncommon. It was like brain dead. So maybe it's people are buying Ronkies, becoming more Ronktarded, and then going to other markets and taking that over there. But I don't know. It's been an hour anyway. Yeah. Anything else that you want to bring up that I can crash the fuck out to? Because
we did talk about a topic, right? There's a new game not a new game, but there's a new token on the block, right? A lot of people on the
True. Actually, you know what? We can't miss this one. Normally we'll try to keep the shows to an hour, but no, not today, bro. We're not missing this topic. I'm gonna pull up the tweet in question. But the game, right? It's a token, but it's actually a gun. It's not a gun, but the token's called gun. So if you guys know about a game called Off the Grid, then we are about to have the conversation about that game's token. So any thoughts, put it in the chat right now. We'll be responsive, Rallo. Look, your dreams come true. We'll be responsive to the chat. If you guys know what gun is, if you got any thoughts on it, drop it in the chat. We'll read through it. But where do we start on this topic? Do we start with a game? Do we just go straight into like token good, token bad? Like, where do you want to start with this one?
I saw there was a lot of drama around the drop and something about the last minute decision from people talking about Binance, etc. I saw that Psychout jumped in as well.
I have the Psychout post here.
Yeah, I think that on these topics, it's everyone is an armchair expert on tokenomics and launches, and everyone's an expert on the inner workings of Binance. So let's leave it to the comment section of this tweet to tell us what's going on.
Here are the experts. No, so Psychout was referring to obviously the market cap and the fully diluted value, and he said textbook low float, high FDV. For the wrong tards in the chat, including myself here, when people talk about this shit, my mind actually starts seeing like SpongeBob and like cartoons from my childhood, and like all focused is lost, and I just find myself in a bit of a mist. So if we can demystify that, what are they referring to here? What are we talking about here with low float, high full FTV? Like, what does any of this matter? I will type it into Chat GPT if all of us are retarded.
So I like low flow is like how much coins are in circulation, right? I mean, I did a little bit of research and like I checked it out a little bit. Like, it means like there's only apparently 6% of the supply in circulation, right? So just imagine that all traders, everyone buying this coin and so on, are actually only trading 6% of the supply. So when they trade only 6% and they're buying at a higher price, the FDV, the fully diluted valuation, continues to go up, right? If like there's only 6% being traded around, because there's not a lot of coins that are going. So imagine meme coins, right? Because that's what we all understand, because we know that's people have been trading for like the past couple of months. So imagine meme coins. Let's say you launch Moses, right? And let's say, Gila, that you keep 95% of all the Moses coins, and everybody can only buy from the 5%. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah. It's for all you ronkies out there.
That's all like the Trump stuff.
Hashtag delist gun and hashtag delist ronky. That's what's going on. Less ronkies on the market, price go up, price look good, more people buy, price go up even more, eat steak for the rest of your life. And that's what they're trying to achieve here with this token. That's the reason why why is there bad sentiment? Why is there bad why isn't everyone just happy about this? It's because it sets people up for disappointment. It's like it creates more volatility, right? If this thing shoots up, people buy in, and then it inevitably goes down more, as opposed to a more organic, stable. No, stable is not the right word, but like a more organic launch. But the thing is here, there is a goal here. It's to catch the eye of people, and you accept the risk or you accept the price of an eventual potential downfall later in price. And
yeah, but
I think
the problem here is like with the low flow, it means that you can manipulate the price a lot easier, right?
Yeah.
That's actually the true goal of it, is to actually manipulate the price, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of volatility, right? You buy tokens off the market and then it's going to shoot up the FDV a lot, right? Now, the problem people are talking about with that is apparently the early investors from 2021 don't get their tokens for the first year. Okay. Now, there's a good thing and a bad thing with this. The first good thing is VCs are not going to be dumping from day one, right? We've seen a lot of games where VCs dump from day one and they completely kill the project, right? Because they are de-risking and they're taking their profits and blah, 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 and whatever. And they don't give a shit what happens to the project, right? Because they just need to save their bags. And I mean, that's the good thing, right? That they won't be dumping. Now the bad thing is obviously they're unhappy, right? And maybe they're not going to support the project as well. We've seen a lot of things on the timeline about some of these VCs being unhappy about this game. And if you go and check the Guns token, it came out at 0.1 and it's actually down 40% already. So the volatility somehow sent it the other way. Now you have to ask yourself, who the hell had this token for it to go backwards, right? From a 0.1 all the way down to 60 or 6 cents, 6.5 cents.
No,
right?
is it on base? Sorry, is this one right on base?
Yeah, so the ones who actually had this token were market makers and the exchanges, right? Because they needed the token so that they can market make, right, and create volume. So clearly, there isn't actually a demand for this token from day one. So some people bought on day one, they pumped the price up all the way to like 11.5 cents or something, and now it's down to like 6.5 cents.
This
I
is
don't
this
know
is
what.
not
I think I'm looking at
this
the
is
right
not it,
thing.
Gilla. This is not it.
I was
Gilla,
gonna say
but
I'm definitely not looking at the right thing right now.
it's a 2
Bro,
million
what?
market cap.
It's guns with a Z. It's guns with a Z.
Oh, so cool, so original.
Sorry to cut you off there, Steven. It's just like he was looking at the the wrong chart. It was with a Z. A
Guns
Z.
with a Z.
Type
Yeah.
a Z. No, there you go. And then you look at 24-hour volume. It's not on there.
I think it's Gunzilla. No, it's not.
Dude, just go on CoinGecko, man.
Yeah.
CoinGecko guns.
Like
That's
your
it.
website.
So what were you saying? What's causing it to go down 40%? Is it that must mean it's the market makers dumping or what?
I mean, not dumping, but like, there's no demand.
Yeah,
There's just literally no
yeah.
demand, right? Like they have
Relatively
to.
speaking, they're dumping.
Yeah. Like the not only the market makers, but like the exchanges, right? They also get some tokens. So like surely they will slowly sell off into anyone buying, but clearly there's no one buying. That's why it's slowly going down. Now, this is gonna upset all the investors if this in a year's time when they get all of their tokens is not at a price where like either they bought in at or like um at least 10 cents, right? Because they would have expected that with the hype that this game has, it does well. Now, at the same time, maybe they're doing this intentionally while there's a lot of FUD or like there's a lot of uncertainty in the industry and like, in the general space because they're accumulating, right,
Yeah.
ammunition to pump this when it is going to be doing well, right? Like market makers, they control the charts, they control how things look. They can create like some kind of bullish pattern anytime that they want for as long as the team has enough ammunition for them to do that, right? So remember, tokens are also something that teams use to generate like income for themselves, right? Some kind of runway or whatever it may be, whatever the purpose that they may be selling off for. So this could also be just a team selling off some tokens at the moment, letting others come in at lower prices if they believe in it, and then whatever, and then see where it takes off from here. But at least we know for like the first year, the investors and so on there won't be a lot of tokens circulating, right? So there could be gamblers out there who think like, oh, this could bottom out right here,
This is a
buy
good
it
time
up,
to buy.
and then like maybe over the course of the next year there will be some kind of a relative pump that
Yeah.
they can sell into.
As long as you sell before it unlocks in a year from those first investors.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I mean, none of this is like certain, right? We
Yeah,
could
it's
literally see
speculation.
this. Yeah, we could literally see this go to a penny, right?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised by that as well. It doesn't matter how big they are or how much ammunition they have. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
To be fair, they called it Extraction Royale. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's my like why I feel like definitely underexposed to information to talk about this with any seriousness, to be honest with you, is like how is the fucking token going to be utilized? What is the token for? I've played the game. The game
Great
is
question.
fucking phenomenal for a Web3 game, right? Like it is not like the Web3 aspect of it is almost non-existent. And I understand, yes, you can open crates and put money into the game to own items and cosmetics and whatnot. Like, cool, great, awesome. Fucking you guys are pioneers. But the game itself is something that I would tell people to go and play and feel like no backlash. Like if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. But like it's one of those games where I would tell anybody that's played video games to go and try the game out and would not feel ashamed in any way, shape, or form. And they'd be like, "Is this the industry you work in?" Like, not at all. The game itself is really fucking good. So good product is important, but good economy needs to exist. So I get why this token would be hyped. I get why people want this token to do well. I get the people that are already collected by not only the team that are building the project, but also the people behind the distribution or the VCs that are going into that are working with this game. Like I just get it. The game's fucking good, but how is the economy gonna make sense? Like, are you really gonna make this thing a Web3 thing?
Buying
Because you may as well just been Web2 and just said pay for skins that you don't own, bro. Like,
well, from what I hear, the Web2 people can't even buy that token or use it, right? They have something else that they use.
Wow,
I mean,
that's fucked.
So for me, like, again,
it?
this all goes back to the original conversation that we were having about what is your working economy, right? This is why, like, this kind of token, I like, if I'm an investor of any sort, like, I will fade with confidence on the side of, like, does this have any legs to stand on? But the only reason why I would ever buy it is because of speculation, and then sell it, like, maybe as a trader, because, like, I know there's gonna be people buying this shit for no reason.
You want to speculate on something that's a little funner, a bit more fun? How much money do you think they paid Scump, Ninja, all of these creators to be in this game, bro? Because that's got to be a pretty penny.
10 million.
Way too much.
10 M's.
Way too
10
much.
million,
Between them,
probably,
or individually?
Probably 10 million total between them.
Because Ninja has like his own skin too, right? And like
Ninja, for example, someone like Ninja wouldn't even play a game like that unless he was getting paid multi 7 figs. Like, I assume somewhere between 3 and 5 million.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
And then Tim, same thing, right? Like, he's more. He's gonna be. Yeah. So I would say, like, their budget probably was somewhere between 10 and 15 million or some shit like that for the advertising.
That's probably spot on. That's not shocking to me. Good marketing spend in this economy.
I mean, the thing is, it was better when the market was, like, way better at that time, right?
Way better.
But I feel like right now it's kind of like, obviously it looks kind of dumb, but I think, like, for the time it made sense.
Yeah, as long as they had it in stables and not in gun tokens. So.
No, these guys would not have taken a crypto for a payment. This is straight USD in the fucking bank, bro. There's no way.
Well, we'll see, because I asked Grok what the token is used for, but you don't know. So it's giving me all these things, but you don't know if it's live or not, as in what the plan is. But it's like battle passes, cosmetic upgrades, all of that stuff, and then all of these things should be tradable. So as we all know,
bullshit.
Exactly. All of this is the theory. How do you actually implement it? And if you're putting a wall between your Web2 and Web3 players, if your priority is for your Web2 players to not realize it's a crypto game, more so than have a working economy, it doesn't bode well, in my opinion, for your long term. But it doesn't make sense. That's kind of what they're doing. If the Web2 players have a token, it's one thing if they buy something with their credit card. It's like if in Origins you could buy SLP with your credit card. You don't need to know that you can mint it, that you can sell it. But as long as it's the literal same token as the others are doing it, then it's another trade is happening in the background when you use your credit card. But if you're making a separate Web2 token with 100% going to the team thingy just for the Web2 players, it's definitely a strike against you, I think, in terms of your potential to. I don't know. What do I know? I was going to say to succeed long term, but what do we even know about that?
Honestly, it's a shame though, because the game is. I played it religiously when I was in America when it first dropped. I think it was like, it would have been like October maybe. I was in this, bro, and it was the best Web3 experience I've had. And I like shooter games as well, so like FPS, third person shooter. Like, I enjoy those games a lot, and this game surprised the shit out of me. And I was like, "Oh, this is it. This is absolutely it." But what do you call
best Web3 experience? Or was it just a good game? Is that
what you're playing? A video game that I wake up and think I want to play this today.
Yeah, but it's not a Web3 experience. That's not a Web3 experience. A Web3 experience. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Steven.
Oh no,
I'm
you
just
go
talking
ahead,
about the
you
game
finish
in the
it.
category. The game is in the category of Web3. So when you come down to talk about Web3 games, this one is in the category, and this was one of very few games that has made me feel that type of way.
It's just in 2022, 2023, you could slap Web3 on your game and call yourself a Web3 game. But if you don't have a working economy and stuff like that, I don't think you can call yourself a Web3 game. There's literally hundreds of games now. You can't. It's not because you're not anti-tokens and anti-crypto that you get to call yourself a Web3 game. You have to have a working economy. People have to be able to mint the stuff. All of that. And the whole hiding, the whole Chinese wall between, is that the term when you like put a I think to hide
What?
so
There is a Great Wall of China.
What?
What fucking
Chinese,
wall you're
what
talking
are you
about?
saying, bro?
it's a, I
What
think
is guys saying? What?
it's a French expression. It's like in your apartment or something that you obviously French expressions are racist clearly.
Why is it a Chinese wall? What?
I've heard the Chinese whispers.
It's about like just putting a wall so that the people on one side don't know what's going on the other. And
That's just a wall. That's not a Chinese wall. It's just a wall.
So there's two like popular sayings confused here with like Chinese whispers and the Great Wall of China, and I just don't know where we are.
There is a French expression related to that, that's just how it is. Anyways, the whole fact of hiding from Web 2 players that it's a Web 3 game, etc. I can say that I don't like it, but that's why I stopped myself earlier. It's like, who knows if that might be the key though, because we're in a transition period. Doing it this way might be what'll matter is how they go on in the future, what their decision making looks like. It might not be the cardinal sin that we think it is to just separate them.
Can I pause you there? I want to circle on something here, because we were speaking about this the other day on stream, me and Bebum, right? You said, who knows, right? We don't actually know yet. We haven't actually really accomplished mass adoption, and then like the economies, what they look like in that instance, right? So every game essentially, and you said even if you call yourself a Web3 game, but there's not a working economy, it's technically not. So what do they then become? Is it like an experimental game? Like, is this just an experiment? And largely that's what we've seen across the industry. But if we are going to succeed as an idea becoming an industry, right? We're in PvE mode. So should we support this style of experiment and experimentation? And how do we make it better? Like, should we be giving the feedback here, like, oh, this is a great game, but there's no working economy, so therefore it's not a success? Should we be communicating that and integrating ourselves within these types of communities and with these projects essentially? Because I don't see Ronin gamers really, other than like Cairo and maybe Inhuman, who's not really
Don't you need like a godlike PC to run this game? Maybe
Not
that's also
anymore. They recently changed it.
They changed it. Yeah.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Improved performance.
The only reason I haven't been playing this game is because my PC in America was the only one that could actually fucking run it. But
I think your PC now can run it because they did optimize. And I'll speak on that. Like, Stark, yes, you were absolutely right. Before, it was like you needed the fucking like alien mothership spaceship computer. You know, like you needed something that was just super cracked out. But now it's you should be able to play it. I mean, you're still gonna need something decent. You know, you can't just run you can't run it on a 1080, for example. But something decent like 2K series will do just fine.
well, we should play it. I think that's
Also,
Okay, look, I'll give you.
No, go ahead. I was going to prove myself that I found the definition of Chinese wall, but it's not relevant to the. But it's a real.
Stop it! Let it go, Stark. We've already moved on. Let it go. My God, let it go. Okay, so here's my take on this game. All right, games like this. Okay, I actually said this before. I think PUBG, if it was a Web3 game to begin with, it would have been amazing because so many people just love what the game actually is, right?
Yep.
The reason why they buy skins is because they want to look nice and blah blah blah. That's what OTG is trying to do, right? The game is nice. people are going to want to buy skins because they just want to look better, and the Web3 aspect helps you trade better, right? So what they're doing with Web3 and being on a chain and blah 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 is like they're becoming their own Steam, essentially,
Yep.
right? The Steam marketplace. That's what Web3
You're
is.
just gonna build the IP out.
The Steam marketplace is technically, or you could say, it's like a chain, right?
It
the
is.
only thing is you cannot really sell your Steam bucks, right? You have to go through all these fucking loopholes,
Prison.
like, to be able to do that, right? Now in Web3, you can just sell your token, cash out, right? That's what people do. So I think OTG, it wants to go down that route, and they just want to be this fun game to play, so fun that people do want to buy skins and blah blah blah, and they're going to make the revenue through fees and blah 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 and so on. The only thing is they need to somehow make their investors who bought their nodes, who invested early on, to be able to profit in some way. And I think the only way they can truly do that is with some kind of revenue share, right? And like Web3, it lets you be able to raise community raises and all these things, but they need to be able to revenue share, or else all this shit is pointless. Because the way I see their token is like it's fucking useless. Truly, it's really useless. Most of the people who are gonna buy skins for the fun of it, sure, they come through Web2, and they don't even get to use their coin. They don't even get to use like the Web3 coin because they're not allowed to, right? All the platforms that
Don't allow it.
yeah, exactly. All their
Yeah.
platforms are not going to allow that, right? To protect their users. So they're going to need to figure out a way, and I don't know if they have that already, but if they do, I think OTG can be a successful game. But I wouldn't really believe in their Web3 coin as much as I would believe in like maybe an NFT or something that they launch in the future that provides some kind of revenue share.
Yeah. Well, I think that's smart. It makes me wonder, how did Steam become Steam? What's the history behind that? What's the story? Why did they become the distributor, and so on and so forth with other?
Well, they were first, right?
Yep.
They were first. Like that's one of the first movers advantage, and that was Steam's advantage, is that they were the first. They had CS, and they had like Half-Life, and then they went on and had like Dota, and then whatever and stuff. So
yeah, what? I mean, is tokens? This is a convo for another day. Listen, we're gonna wrap this shit up, bro, because that question would have sent us for another 30 minutes, and I'm not doing it to you lot. I'm not doing it to you lot. Listen, shout out to everyone that pulled up today. We appreciate you guys. W to Ronky, absolutely ripping on OpenSea. Let's continue to see that. If you have multiple Ronkies, delist them the fuck now, and we go and get some steak tomorrow. All right. Shout out as well to the sponsors. Of course, Ronin always supporting. Big up to my peoples here, 1437, Stark and Logic. Stark, I apologize. You made me fucking crash out crazy, bro. I'm losing my shit slowly.
I'll keep doing it, don't worry.
Please, I love it. Like, bring that out of me, bro. Bring that out of me. But yeah, we'll be back on Thursday. We're going to host Fableborn. TCAF will come through. I don't know what's going to happen. So to find out on Thursday, you prick. Thank you so much for being here. Any last words? Or... No, fuck off. We're going. Bye.